In the summer of 1973, Bruce Lee was on the verge of becoming the biggest movie star on the planet. His films were breaking records across Asia, and Hollywood was finally beginning to recognize his power. But just days before his shocking and mysterious death at only 32 years old, Bruce sat down for what would become his last in-depth interview. It wasn't just about martial arts. It was about life, struggle, philosophy, and the essence of what it means to be human. This is the story of Bruce Lee's final words to the world and what they reveal about his mindset, his struggles, and his legacy. To understand the power of Bruce Lee's final interview, we must first understand the man who gave it. Born in San Francisco in 1940, during the Year of the Dragon, Bruce Lee's life was marked by destiny. Raised in Hong Kong, he began acting in films as a child. But his true passion was martial arts. Under the guidance of Ip Man, Bruce studied Wing Chun, but he quickly realized that no single style could hold all the answers. He began to experiment, to break rules, to form what would later be called Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. When he moved to America, Bruce faced racism, rejection, and constant doubt. He was too foreign for Hollywood, too radical for traditional martial arts. But that rejection fueled his evolution. He dreamed of starring in Hollywood films, but executives saw him as a risk. Too Asian, too different, too dangerous for the leading role. This was the man who sat down for his final interview, a man who had fought his way through rejection, who had tasted both struggle and success, and who carried with him a philosophy that was bigger than fighting.
December 9th, 1971, Hong Kong. Bruce Lee appears on The Pierre Berton Show.
At first glance, he is calm, almost playful. But listen closely, and you'll hear something deeper. A man using martial arts as a metaphor for existence itself. These words have since become immortal. Be water, my friend. To Bruce, water represented the ultimate strength, not because it resisted, but because it adapted. In those few sentences, he revealed his deepest truth. Life is about flexibility, resilience, and constant change. It was more than philosophy, it was prophecy. Days later, Bruce Lee would be gone, but his words would remain, flowing endlessly, like the water he spoke of. In the interview, Bruce spoke candidly about his frustrations with Hollywood. They think that business-wise, it's a risk. I don't blame them. If a Caucasian actor came to Hong Kong, would we accept him right away? Bruce wasn't bitter. He was realistic. He understood the prejudice of the time, yet he refused to let it define him. When America shut him out, he returned to Hong Kong. There, he became a legend. Films like The Big Boss and Fist of Fury shattered box office records. Crowds lined up for hours just to see him move, to feel his energy on screen. And still, in his final interview, he admitted that he wanted more. Not fame, not wealth, but acceptance. He wanted to show the world that an Asian man could be a global star. One of the most haunting aspects of Bruce Lee's last interview was his reflection on life and death. He described life as constant movement, unpredictable, rhythmic, and unrhythmic. He warned against stagnation, against clinging to the past. Life is never stagnation. It is constant movement. Life is constantly being lived, and if you stop and look at it, you can see the flow, the movement, the constant change. Looking back, those words feel like a farewell, as if Bruce knew that life was short, that he must live fully, even if it meant burning out too soon. He often said, "The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering." Bruce Lee's final words were not about fear of death. They were about embracing life, movement, and flow. In the quiet moments of the interview, Bruce revealed something else, his obsession with authenticity. He hated imitation. He despised empty tradition. He wanted truth. Man, the living creature, the creating individual, is always more important than any established style or system. What Bruce left behind in this final conversation was not just a philosophy of fighting. It was a call to live without fear, to break barriers, to create your own path. Decades later, Bruce Lee's final interview continues to inspire. UFC president Dana White calls him the father of mixed martial arts. Fighters, musicians, actors, and even world leaders quote his words. Why? Because Bruce wasn't speaking to fighters. He was speaking to humanity. His words, "be water," have been used in classrooms, boardrooms, and spiritual teachings. His vision of adaptability has become a guide for living in a changing world. Bruce Lee never lived to see Enter the Dragon released worldwide. He never lived to see his dream of global stardom fully realized. But in his final interview, he gave the world something even more powerful than movies: his philosophy. His final words. Bruce Lee's body may have left this earth in 1973, but his spirit, his words, live on. So the next time you face a challenge, remember his lesson. I doubt. Flow. Crash. Be water, my friend.